In this training video, we will discuss how to use the user-defined section of your tournament for a t-shirt question, or even things like a donation ask, weather insurance, a class offering at the tournament, etc. Let's take a closer look. Once logged into your tournament, use the three-line menu and select the user-defined option. In this pre-made tourney, you can see that we already have a question created. Let's select the Add New Question tab to get started on creating a new one. In the Question to Ask box, place the information you wish to be displayed to the customer. In this example, we will ask about their t-shirt size. Question shorthand would be t-shirt. Additional fee would force a fee to be used based on the question, not the answers. For this specific example, we want this set as no, since shirts are included with registration. However, an example of when to set this to yes would be if you had a $10 referee fee. Players would need to be mandated to pay that regardless of their answer. When we add answers, we can show you how to add a cost to a specific line item if that is needed. If you have a cutoff date for t-shirt orders to be in, add that now. If you do not yet know, make sure to check with your supplier and add the cutoff date later. Since we want this question to be available to players, you can leave this on. If you would like this to be available to non-players, you can turn the toggle switch on for guests. Decide if this question is required during registration. Typically, we recommend turning this on because you want your registrants to have the opportunity to choose a shirt. We highly recommend to turn on the ability for the selection to be shown on the check-in screen. When the player checks in, your volunteers can click a box when their shirt is picked up, making the player experience smooth. Decide if you want the selection to be shown on the receipt. Again, we recommend this be on so players can have a copy of what they ordered. We recommend that the fee be turned off, as we can always add a fee later in the answers. Next, decide if a player can change their selection after registration. If you change this to yes, a box will appear to give a final date. Typically, this matches up to your final cutoff date given by your shirt supplier. Also, if a player withdraws, what happens to the option they selected? Most tournament directors choose to remove the player's chosen value, especially if the shirt is free. However, if they are paying for a shirt, you might want to consider leaving it. Please make the appropriate choice based on your tournament. Next, decide what type of answer format to use. For a t-shirt question, we recommend multiple choice so the player can choose only one option. Lastly, if you want to add an image to the question, you are welcome to do so. This could be helpful if you have different colors or different t-shirt types to choose from. Click Save at the top to continue. As you can see, we now have a link to add our answers. Let's click there to finalize this question. Click the Add New button at the bottom to start adding lines. Fill out as many lines as needed. Clicking Add New to continue adding more options. If you are offering multiple t-shirt options, be sure to differentiate them in your answers. For example, men's or women's shirts, or even something like a performance tee versus a cotton tee. Please also make sure that you only allow one per registration. Otherwise, people will be allowed to order more than one. Click on Save at the top once completed. If you need to inactivate a shirt option, you can use the toggle switch to do so, or you can delete it, but only if no one has chosen it as an answer. If someone did, their answers would need to be changed on their registration before it can be deleted. If you need to delete a question altogether, you can do so on the question setup screen. Again, any and all answers would need to be removed, otherwise a question cannot be deleted. Let's take a closer look at how you would set up a question that has a cost associated with it. You would set up the front side, like our t-shirt example. Then, you can slide this toggle switch to indicate that an answer may have a fee associated with it. Whether your question is asking for a donation, an option for weather insurance, or a t-shirt with a cost, this could work for you. For example, if we were hosting a fundraiser tournament and our question was, would you like to donate? We can indicate in our answers how much with various lines. You can add as many lines as needed based on your donation options. For a weather insurance question, you could use a simple yes with the cost of the insurance, or no with no cost. If you want to use this button on your tournament home screen to allow members of the public to be able to donate, order a shirt, order a meal, or even a paddle, you can enter your text to display and click Save. It will then show up on your tournament homepage with a link to go directly to purchasing items. Please note that all answers would need to be under one question for this to be activated. If you need to ask more than one question, You can still have options available to the public, but they would have to submit a form by going through the registration process, skipping the tournament registration, and answering the desired questions. Let's take a look at one more example. This tournament decided to offer their players a lunch. They offered a question for each day, giving various options to choose from. Let's look at the setup for one of the questions. As you can see, this question was marked as mandatory, as were the other questions providing lunch on other days. They offered multiple choice and even gave an image of the lunches. As we open the answers, we can see that each lunch was marked $11. Yet there is also an option for no lunch. This means on the days you weren't playing, even though you were required to answer the question, players could order lunch for just the day they were playing, or make an order for multiple days. To run a report of all the answers to your user-defined questions, head to your tournament menu and scroll down to Reports. Once there, scroll down to the user-defined area to find the available reports. Thank you for watching our training tutorial. As you can see, the sky is the limit on our unique user-defined settings. We have seen this section get used for weather insurance, meals, shirt orders, paddle orders, camps, clinics, donations, and even a mandatory fee for referees. Please be sure to visit our YouTube page for more.